Today, I want to talk about something that's important, and that is Jewish superstition. Jewish superstition is things like covering mirrors, sitting on a low stool to sit Shiva when someone has passed away. We know that man is made in the image of God. Right here in Bereshit chapter 1, we see this, that man is a mirror and God is looking at himself when he looks at a human being. And because we are fallen, the mirror has a distortion. But man was created in both the image and the likeness of God. An image is a replica, and the image may be similar, but not necessarily identical to the original. And the likeness, the term likeness, is used as a gauge of comparison or analogy. And when man fell, he retained an impaired image of God. And I want you to look at chapter 9, verse 6. It says, "Whoso sheddeth man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed. For in the image of God made he man." So even the vilest human being has still an impaired image of God, or I should say, retains that image. And when we are saved, the warped mirror is straightened. And this is one of the accomplishments of salvation. Our spiritual likeness is restored in justification. And our character likeness is being continually developed in the process of Kedusha, or sanctification. We will be, as I said this morning, like Moshiach physically when we are glorified in a physical, glorious resurrection body. But already, having been born again, we are like him, and one day we will see him as he is. So God's purpose in our lives is to conform us to the image of Moshiach, Romans 8:29. And when you think of this, it's a very sobering realization. It says, "For whom he did foreknow, he also did predestinate to be conformed to the image of the Zunfunder Eibishter, that he might be the firstborn among many brethren." And so Hell is basically a place of distorted mirrors where God can no longer look at that distortion. And when Mashiach died for us, he said, "My God, why hast thou forsaken me?" But he was wounded for our transgressions, and a holy God who cannot look upon sin turned away, because he who knew no sin became sin for us, that we might become the righteousness of God and a restored mirror. So every day we should pray to walk in holiness, that people might see Mashiach ben David in our lives, that somehow they will not see us, but see him. Because when you look at a mirror, you're not looking at the actual piece of furniture. You're looking at what is coming back to you, which could be yourself or whatever is in front of that mirror. So it's not so much that we want to be seen, we want him to be seen in us. Lord, I want to pray right now that the words of my mouth, the meditations of my heart will be acceptable in thy sight. And I'll give you all the glory and all the praise.